Also of interest is a notation in the general's appointment book for the day of the murder, 1 p.m., French Embassy. The general was to meet with an old friend, Jean-Paul Girard. Says Senate, Monsieur Girard was a instructor at École Militaire when the general was sent to France in 48. Were you with the general in France? Oh, yes. I've been with the general almost 45 years. Finally, there is a small framed photograph of a stern-looking man. That is the late Mr. Armstead, says Senate. We detect a note of hostility in Senate's tone, and inquire about it. Well, sir, you might say that Miss Armstead and I never quite got on. That is the late Miss Armstead, not Mr.
Yeah, it's his wife, right?
Yeah, it's his wife. You might say Mrs. Armstead never get on with anyone, including the general. Theirs was not a love match. No, sir. Lord Fitch was in danger of having a spinster daughter on his hands, and the general, well, sir, he saw it as a way of a social career advancement, and it was an arrangement, nothing more. But surely something between them must have developed. Why else would the general keep her picture at his desk? Actually, it was placed there to tweak Mrs. Armstead's brother. The present Lord Fitch, you see, a good deal of Mrs. Armstead's wealth, and so the general was in stock of various companies. Her brother also holds stock in those companies, whether they liked it or not, and believe me, they did not. Lord Fitch and the general were in business together. Lord Fitch was to see the general this morning, but he never arrived. Normally, the picture resides on the lower left-hand drawer. Going back to this morning, would you describe the caller for us? He was a short, old man. He wore a black cape and carried a carpet bag. Oh, and he walked with a cane. He didn't give a name? No, he simply asked to see the general and presented a letter, which he intimated that...
Which he intimated?
Yeah, intimated
Mm-hmm.
that the general would want to see. You didn't see the contents of the letter? No, but the envelope was yellow with age, and it was addressed very graceful. Hand to the Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars, the general's old regiment. When he read it, he went very pale, and then, in a subdued voice, he asked me to admit the gentleman. When you finally got into the room, through these garden doors, the study door was still locked, correct? Yes, that's right. The garden is surrounded by an 8-foot wall. The only way out of the garden is through the house, correct? Yes, either through the kitchen door or through these doors. We thank him and leave.
So that's important because whoever killed him had to have scaled the 8-foot wall to get out of the house.
Yeah.
But it was an old man
had a
with a
cane.
cane.
Well, he had a cane. We don't know if he was old.
Did
Yes.
he say he was old?
They said
They said he was
Short
an old
old man. Yeah. it's a short
But
old
but
man.
I'm right? To get out of the house
Yeah.
from the garden, the guy would have to scale the wall.
Is this the end of the narrative?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so
He was a short
is the
old
body
man.
still there?
It
No,
does not
doesn't
say.
look like it. And no more
Clearly
details
Senate is the
after.
killer.
Who's the killer?
Senate, the Batman.
You think so?
In the final moments,
Batman
as he was
never
dying,
kills.
he turned the general around to show turncoat, backstab.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
I did notice. Oh,
It's
yeah,
symbolism.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the moment of his death, he turned the general figure to
That's
face
right.
the soldiers
Oh,
to say
Armstead
it was a
did.
betrayal before he died. So that those, because he would know that he lived in the town where Sherlock Holmes lived, and he goes, as soon as Sherlock sees that the general of the army has been turned to face the wrong way, he would immediately interpret that as turncoat.
Yeah, you're right. Because it says, this is where I found the general. Leaning over the diorama, he must have smashed the glass with the pommel of his rapier. As in a final moment. It was not smashed because he fell on it, nor in the middle of a fight.
Yes, because none of the other glassware was damaged except for
The
this.
glassware was after the swordplay. What if, in his dying moments, he smashed the glass case and turned the general around?
That's what we said.
Well,
That's what we literally just said.
That's what James is
Technologies.
talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. And
So
then,
okay, so why would
I thought you were saying that the valet turned the.
No, the
thing
general
around.
did to reveal that he had been betrayed.
Yeah, so okay. That
Oh well. All right.
The case is solved.
Yeah, I-
Holmes, you lose again.
You want to turn?
I am from the future.
Here, let me say this.
So
real
why
quick.
would Senate
I'm a time
want
master.
to kill his old friend who he had like been through hell and back with?
Motive is for you guys.
So
I just have to
if
say
James
that.
is ready to do
red, he
Because
must
he
have
fell in love
conclusions.
with his wife. No.
Here are the questions.
He's
are we still allowed to? Are we supposed to know the questions
Sinister.
before or after?
What questions?
Oh, do
Oh,
we?
that's right.
Oh,
Questions. The questions will give us answers. So it's more points. So it's more than
So-
just knowing who. We also got to know all the other details.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so
yes, this is
part
what we
part
wanted
one is the
to
general
accomplish.
questions. Part two is extra points you can get for solving extra side quests within the case.
oh, so like if we can't
Cool.
answer the motive question, we lose points.
Right.
Okay.
So-
So there's I have more before I need because
Okay.
the reason I asked if the body was there is because we need to be able to compare the shoe prints on the
I
chair.
believe. Yeah.
On the chair.
I
Because-
believe
That's true.
I believe that they were the generals.
Yes, and the reason that I want to be
That
able to
would make
compare
sense.
is because only one of the two rapiers is gone. Now, in the
Yeah.
Senate's story, the other guy had a cane. If the other cane is a sword cane, they could have engaged in swordplay. Otherwise, the other sword is still up there. And
Right.
it thus shows that only one of the swords was taken down.
Right.
If you came to kill me, would you go, "Excuse me, my good man, I need to climb over and fetch my sword before you kill me"?
That-
Would that be all right?
Yeah.
That would
Seemed
never happen.
weird.
So if the assassin was the guest, then the guest would have to have been this crazy, like, of course, nobility requires that I wait till you fetch the sword from your
Right,
man.
right.
So the only way that he would have been able to do that would be for someone trusted to climb for the sword. Well, if I'm a victim, I'm not going to have a chance to do that. So I want to be able to compare to see whether or not those shoe prints are actually Senate's shoe prints.
Okay.
Because only the valet would be able to say, "Excuse me, I'm dusting up here."
It's
So-
possible that he grabbed the sword afterward.
The body's probably not
As in
here.
he was already
Oh,
dead.
to try to convince them.
Go ahead. Keep going.
It's fine. It's possible he was trying to, like, he knew he had to break the case
Right.
to do the thing because he didn't have much time, and I guess he
He
couldn't
could
write
have
it down.
broken the case with all sorts of
We
stuff.
would have found a
Or-
blood
Yeah, he
trail,
probably has like a
though.
paperweight on his
Yeah,
desk.
Like, is the
there
sword
must
still
have
in
been
the
a ton
room?
of things closer than
Okay.
that.
I think. What do
Was
you mean?
there anything in the narrative that said the other sword is still here?
I don't think
I
so.
think it explicitly
Well, yeah,
said
it
it
is.
was missing.
It is just the one.
And that sword is also missing.
It was no. That sword was what the general had.
Right, but is it here?
No.
Because no one kills
It's been-
you
it's been-
after a sword fight and takes your sword with them.
No, I think the sword and the body were found together and they were taken away.
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
clarify, is whether or not...
Oh, that's a good question.
I believe they said that it was found with
Above
the
them,
general's
some
body.
10 feet up the wall is a single rapier. There's a dust pattern on the wall which crosses it, indicating a missing twin. It was the rapier that the general had, explained Senate. A chair normally placed with it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so those have been taken away.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but it was
One
the
of
that was the
Alright.
rapier that the general. Had.
So we can probably go check out the body if we visit the coroner.
Do we have the authority to require the Senate show us his shoes?
It's a game. We can only do what the game
We can
allows us
only
to do.
Oh, so we
That's
can't
exactly
do anything
what it's
outside of
described.
what's
Yeah,
been
we
provided.
can only
About
look at
like-
we can
yeah,
only
yeah.
read the things that are provided.
So-
It is a choose your own adventure book, as I said.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point, if I think that the shoe print matches Senate's shoe prints, if the game doesn't say anything about it, there's no way I can say yes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
can't get
there's no way you can know. The coroner
if-
might have
if
more
the game
information.
that
It's
hasn't
not like a
built
role
that
playing
in.
game.
You're just gonna have to go with there are shoe prints.
I mean, because
Work-
what do you?
work from
How
that.
would they? You know.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm just trying. I don't understand how much detail is in there.
Right,
so,
right.
So
No.
I can't
And
just.
it could also
The-
just be like that everyone just has smooth bottom shoes because that's the way they were made back then and there's no distinguishing.
But the
thread.
size would be different.
The
Yeah,
game.
the size.
Yeah, the way the game mechanically works is you get leads from the
Wait
things
a
you
sec.
read, and then you follow up with the leads, and the leads should lead you to the end of the case.
There was dirt on the shoe.
So they had to have gone through the garden.
Yeah.
Or the general just had not super clean shoes.
Or
Wait.
the Batman.
What
came
dirt are you
in
talking about?
Through the back
So,
door from
on
the
the,
garden and
um,
killed him.
On the chair.
On the
And
chair.
climbed out.
It said the dust had been disturbed.
No.
I mean,
on the chair.
that's the other
there
thing,
was
like-
a footprint with dirt.
You have to assume that a 70-year-old man, which Batman is,
It said
Can I-
dirt?
can climb over the 8-foot garden wall. But he's an old
No.
military guy, so that's
They
possible.
specifically go out of their way to
No,
describe
but the
how
Batman wouldn't
spry
have
and
to.
healthy he still
Yeah,
is.
yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely,
okay.
they
Yes.
definitely do.
Yeah, so
They
he
made a huge
certainly.
point of emphasizing that
I think
he
you might be
I
right,
think,
James.
I think. Well, I guess we don't actually know that there was swordplay.
right. That's all
just-
based on his story.
Faint footprints.
he's saying he
Oh,
heard
there's no
see,
soil.
There's
on
no
the
soil.
footprints.
It's
Yeah.
just a print.
Faint footprints
Oh.
soil the fabric of
Yes.
the seat.
Yes.
Okay,
They
so
use
let's.
soil as
Right.
in it
Oh,
ruins
okay.
Yeah,
it.
so there,
Yeah.
that's why I was saying that the entire fabrication of a man with a leather was a lie. That basically
Yeah,
this
it
was
does.
So you're saying that the valet came and gave him the letter and said someone's here for you, and then what? Left and then
there
came
was
back
no
and-
guest. There was no letter. The valet killed him in order to hide the truth of the matter of the gem because the valet has nothing to gain. He says he's been with the general for a very long time, fought in all his battles. The general said he's found a pathway to the new gemstone and who the current owner is.
Uh-huh.
I believe that if we do sufficient research, we will find that the valet is tied to the owner or the gemstone in some way, and that the revelation of the current location of that gemstone will give away the valet's
Will be the
relative
motive.
or friend, and that will be the motive.
Do you just want to go right to the parlor scene right now?
No, so the very existence.
No.
But we don't
of
have
this,
enough evidence to accuse.
Okay.
We
So the
just-
very
this is just the
existence-
Yeah,
premise.
you've got a hunch.
The very existence of this collar and letter,
It's
we only
fabrication.
have obtained from the valet's description,
Correct.
right?
His testimony
Huh.
is completely non believable based on the evidence in the room.
Okay, where do we want to head next?
So wait, let's hold on a second because
Well-
we should think about the other bits of information that we've gotten from this scene.
Okay.
So we've got
I feel like that's a little too like shortcut.
yeah,
Like,
I,
that's
too easy?
You are very much
All of
jumping
Holmes'
into
cases
no,
are like that.
but-
he concludes
but
the
that's-
right answer right away, and then he goes to look for the evidence to prove it as part of the story.
Yeah, either you believe that the valet is telling you the truth and you follow that and like go and collect all the clues towards that end, or you disbelieve him and that's a shortcut. That's an immediate shortcut to a
It is weird
potential resolution.
who
That-
believe
that
him
whole-
because things don't make sense. The door was locked, which I guess makes sense. You know, he wants a private conversation.
Well, sure.
But who's going to barge in?
That-
And then he
yeah.
got the sword up there by moving the chair away from the desk.
Well, but why would the
Standing up
valet
on
make up those details?
Cover his
Okay,
tracks.
yeah. If you're going to make up a false perpetrator, you're going to include all sorts of details because that makes it more and more believable.
That whole thing with the figuring
what, you're going to talk to
convinces
the
me.
police and not give them details. You definitely saw details.
That
if
makes
you-
sense.
If it was real.
Because it's weird that the case is smashed with a pommel, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. As
'Cause
in he
super
did it
weird.
in the last moment.
Yeah, and then one specific figurine is turned.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if you had enough energy to kind of smash it on the glass, you think you might have enough energy to like write it down
Right.
with like.
Well,
Well, no, it's just the
it's,
weight.
it's a
right?
matter
It's
of
gravity.
crawling to the desk, getting parchment and pen, dipping
I
the...
mean, in blood.
Remember, it's the early
No,
1900s when
that's
glass
probably
was
not
poorly
as-
designed,
yeah,
so it's easy to break.
All right, so
Which is another reason why I don't believe there was a swordplay, because this is the only glass in the entire room that's been damaged.
So what
That's
was
right.
what was the killing? What was the cause of death?
we don't know. We should go to the coroner.
We
to
don't
find
even
out.
know the cause
We'll
of
go to
death.
the coroner?
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
was he
Should we
run
go to the
through with
coroner?
the sword? Was
Corner?
he?
That's true. We have
we
to,
don't even
corner,
know.
corner.
All right.
Also, we can do. Before we leave. Oh, I guess. Can
something
it be
we can-
taken for granted that we've done things in the past that we haven't? Because since I don't understand how. Because when we get to the corner, will we be able to?
We
say,
can go
oh,
back and look for free.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I want to be
okay.
able to compare the size of a shoe to the print in the chair.
If you've already... Well, we won't be able to
won't
do
say.
that. Whatever the entry say is the information we have.
It is.
Oh,
It
okay.
is a choose your own adventure book. The details are all.
Oh, so
there.
like if this was
There's
relevant,
no-
there would be something in the narrative
Yes,
that says,
exactly.
and then you
Yeah, yeah,
discover
yeah.
the shoe doesn't match the print.
There's,
Precisely.
We're
there's
kind of-
nothing in there as in if you ask this question, go to this page.
We're
for
kind
the
of
results.
we're kind of living in the brain of an investigator. We don't we don't quite control his every action.
Okay.
So 38 EC is what we're
Yeah,
looking for
Really?
here, Amber.
Yeah. Like the investigator
Okay.
goes and
there's
does
not- that
things in
is
the
a
scenario.
short thing.
And
Yeah.
like, oh, I noticed that you sounded
Uh-oh.
mad. What was that about?
Gotcha.
But you can't like ask them more questions.
He's a head coroner of the St. Bartholomew autopsy. He autopsies all the corpses discovered in the courses of our investigations. What does it say, Amber? 38 EC.
Okay, so Sir Meeks is in the middle of an autopsy when you arrive in the room. I'm sorry, Wiggins. I'll only have a bit
Wiggins
of
is
time
us.
for you. I'll only have a bit of time for you. Sir Jasper informs us that the general was killed with a sword's thrust through the heart. Say that 5 times fast. And it was an upward thrust, so it was
an upward thrust from below.
Suicide. Oh, just thrust through the heart. Upward thrust.
Well, I mean,
It does
Was-
confirm
if you're
that it was swordplay.
if it's a rapier, then that's how you stab it,
Yeah,
right? You
Well, I mean, if it sounds like it could have been as he was going to get the sword.
that could have been it too.
Well, it is hard
This
to
is
thrust
upward.
up.
Yeah,
From the front, or is that all it says?
That's all it
it
says.
just says in the heart.
Okay, so
Okay.
this creates a huge problem.
Wait, is that everything it said?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
So that
Oh
creates
my
a huge
God.
problem because number one,
We don't. Okay, was he killed with the rapier he was found with, or
it doesn't tell us.
Short man.
this is so frustrating.
The other problem.
Oh yeah, the fellow
he
who
was short.
was described was supposed to be
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
The other problem, however, is that
He's an
since
old
it doesn't
man.
give us any other information, the problem is that when you have a sword thrust through your heart, you die instantly. There's no time to turn a tin soldier.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't die slowly from
Really?
one.
So why is this tin soldier turned around then?
How did the thing get
The writers of the
smashed?
game don't understand biology.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
sure.
I was just gonna
Maybe.
say
Sure.
that.
All right, should we
I mean,
go?
maybe-
Should we go
maybe
to
the
the
Junkie use!
It could
Maybe
be,
that's
yeah.
maybe that's like
All right.
expected
You gotta
to
remember,
be known.
this is a
and we
game.
are-
This is a game. It's a mystery game. It's not going to be perfect.
We can go now to the Norgate
Yeah.
& Co., which is the publisher for his book.
Mhm.
There's
No, wait.
the Bridge House Hotel.
Which is
Does Senate live with the victim?
Probably not. We can look up in the phone book.
Because I want to go to Senate's place.
Yeah. I mean, he won't
Senate
be
is spelled like the
there.
Senate in
I
college.
Right.
guess-
I don't want him to be there. I want to search his house without him there.
We'll see if it can do
I-
that.
Book matches. There's also he went to the French embassy earlier in the
Yes,
day.
he lives
Okay.
there as well.
He does.
He lives at 27 Northwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that narrative is all we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would do the same.
so.
Exact
What about
thing.
the French embassy?
He went there earlier in the day.
Who the general did?
Yes. To meet
David
with
Sennett.
Gerard.
Okay.
Oh, we could go meet with Gerard.
I thought the Gerard was supposed to come that morning and never showed.
Oh, that's right. Gerard
He didn't
was
go
supposed
there.
to come
Gerard was
earlier
supposed to
that
come,
Yeah, he
and
was
he
supposed
never
to come.
showed.
Well, maybe should we visit him and ask him why he didn't? What are
And
what there
so
are
the
any-
other thing is that the French embassy, they might know who this French dude is. Maybe I don't know how careful track they keep of such things.
Oh, like Pierre Mitten.
Hmm?
Pierre Mitten.
No, the dude who visited.
Gerard.
No, the dude who visited
The
and killed
supposed-
him,
Short guy
Hard.
in the
Short
cave.
old
who
man.
had a French accent.
Oh, it did say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't
But that's all
catch
based
that.
off a Senate story.
Off of Senate story, but I still haven't. I am not convinced that Senate is the one. who
Oh
did
no,
it.
that's fair.
And I think we need to follow up leads in both directions.
Okay, what do we want to go next?
I mean, I think if the game wanted you to play the game, I think it would expect you to believe Senate.
Yeah.
I guess we should try the
Also, I
French
think-
embassy.
I don't know. I think Senate it's too easy, right? The butler did it. That's
It's true, it is kind of that red herring.
yeah.
I'm also
Okay.
metagaming a bit because the title is called the Tin Soldier, which means the soldier being turned the other way around has got to be core to the
Ah.
story. And the reality is that it said he was like thrust. So first of all, if you know anything about actual like sword fighting, the way you hold your sword to be thrust upward and to be killed
59
that way,
Southwest.
the only logical
French
way
embassy.
that anyone fighting, even a shorter person, would not wield their weapon that way.
Yeah, you'd
The
have to
lo-
be significantly
Yeah, the
shorter.
logical
like
way
your,
that
your shoulder would have to be below their heart.
yeah, like the logical way that would work is that whoever was standing on the chair passed the saber down to someone, and the person received it and immediately killed him, and then staged the body.
I like that.
Which is another reason why I think Senate did it, because the only person who can convince him is like, "My lord, could you go up there and
But-
reach the sword? I have this amazing thing."
But then,
Like-
where would the sound of swordplay come from?
Well, that's from
Senate story.
Senate story.
no
right?
one heard
So
it
it's-
except for him.
Yeah.
He's
doesn't
the only
have to
one
be
who
there.
said there was swordplay, and I don't believe
Oh,
there was
okay.
ever swordplay.
So where are we going? French embassy?
Do you guys want to go to the French embassy? It's where I think we should go.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Yes,
place to go.
Because we can talk to
especially
Gerard.
especially if they have any records on Senate, because I believe Senate is a Frenchman,
All right.
or
59
Senet
Southwest.
actually means Senet.
59 Southwest,
Or-
right,
So,
Peter?
so
What?
Or-
Senate Southwest.
Senate
Okay.
served with the general in the Napoleonic Wars at Waterloo. So we're pretty sure that he's not French.
It's also possible
Could be a
Senate.
turncoat.
Wait, does it say
Oh,
anything
he
about
could be a
Senate's
robot.
ethnicity? Could he be Angolan? He could be a revolutionary who's angry about the French having having conquered his
Let's
people.
It could
go to
be
the
James,
French
yes.
embassy.
Okay.
Let's see what the French embassy tells
Oh
us.
man.
Okay.